welcome to Learn Feng Shui podcast, where ancient tradition meets modern living. And each week we cover a different aspect of Feng Shui and Chinese metaphysics. I'm your host, Candace Berlanga, certified Feng Shui practitioner. And this week we're going to look at the energy for June, the month of the horse. This is the time of year where the zodiac sign doubles. So, what does that mean for us globally? What does that mean for you personally? Well, we're going to take a look at the energy tones for the month, what that could mean, a little bit of weather forecasting like we usually do, zodiac forecast, and feng shui flying stars. Let's get into it. June 5th or so brings in the month of the wood horse. That's the 5th through the 20th, that first solar cycle of energy called planting of thorny crops or grain in ear. It's when the first grain crops are usually ready for harvest. And it's also the time of year when the Dragon Boat Festival is celebrated. June 20th through July 6th is the solar term of the summer solstice, which of course corresponds with the pagan wheel of the year and the beginning of the hottest part of summer. Sun's usually right at that 90-degree latitude. A little bit of weather lore. Spotty showers usually mean heat. A common proverb is that rain during the solstice falls in one field while sunshine bathes the next. This uneven summer rain is believed to signal a upcoming period of intense heat and humidity. We've been having this a lot, and I kind of wonder, honestly, is this just part of the season? Because it's just that time of year where this happens. Of course, it's hasn't passed the summer solstice mark yet, so we'll see. If it's a dry solstice, that means there's empty grain. In many agrarian societies, a lack of rain during the solstice period was historically viewed as bad omen for the autumn harvest, predicting a drought that could stunt the growth of summer crops. Pest predictions are also used. Sudden heavy solstice downpours, followed by intense heat, is believed to trigger a massive outbreak of agricultural pests. Flood forecasting is also done, so ancient farmers monitor solstice participation to predict the severity of the upcoming monsoon seasons. Continuous heavy rain around this time often indicated impeding river floods and waterlogging. Unlike spring rain, which helps the seeds germinate, rain during the summer solstice is believed to be the life giving water required to shield young, vulnerable plants like rice from the searing heat. And it also, heavy rain during the solar term was historically seen as a hindrance to drying and storing recently harvested grain. And talking about the Dragon Boat Festival, in some regions, historical dragon boat races were held in the summer solstice rather than the traditional dragon boat festivals, specifically to pray for rain or calm dangerous flooding brought by the early summer storms. Folk wisdom suggests that the rainfall during the sudden cool spell during the solstice, the remainder of the summer will be unusually mild and rainy, altering the traditional solar heat cycle, which I think is true spiritual cleansing. So, in various pagan and Celtic traditions, the summer solstice is also often called Letha. It represents the peak of the solar energy. Rain during the solstice rituals was believed to be a blessing from the earth, washing away negative energy and restoring balance to the landscape. The 40-day rule, similar to European lore tied to mid July, some summer solstice and early summer beliefs say that the number of rainy days following the solstice dictates the overall wetness of the harvest season, with mild, constant rain pointing towards a long, damp summer. A little bit of weather lore. I think that's fun. My prediction for this time of year, solar term 9 and 10, is going to be summer storms still occurring around this time. Summer solstice is the peak of daylight hours. I think it's going to be continued heat, average weather, possible weather extremes. The last year of the wood horse, we saw weather extremes with record highs and record lows at the same time. So we shall see about that. Hey, coming to from the newsletter learnfengshui.com, of course, hosted on my Substack. The energy tone for the month, the wood horse, is hexagram number 1 called Heaven. I think pretty accurately depicts what kind of energy is in store for the month. So hexagram number 1, Heaven, reflects a powerful upward movement, ambition, and creative force. During this double horse time, that's going to be the horse month in this horse year, very strong yang energy. It kind of may feel like it's reached a peak or a breaking point. So restlessness, pressure, or overload may be clues that something can no longer continue rising in the same way. June may bring a collective sense of urgency, impatience, or momentum. making it important to pause and ask yourself what in your life has reached its natural peak, what now needs to shift, redirect, or let go. On page 2 of the newsletter, again linked in the show notes here, I kind of just talked about working with rising fire energy, a little excerpt. The summer is associated with fire energy, activity, heat, movement, emotion, and expansion. By June, the energy often starts to feel amplified in the home and in the body, especially in this high energy fire horse year. Working with this energy can help you get more motivation, creativity, connection, and forward movement into your life instead of feeling drained and overwhelmed by the season. So, I kind of just talk a little bit about how you can use this energy. It's a good time to kind of start projects. Also, talk about cooling your body and mind, some foods and herbs you can eat during this time. And then talk about the feng shui, some things you can incorporate into your home, and how to avoid overstimulation. And again, that's going to be page 2 of the newsletter, and that will be linked in the show notes. Let's now look at our zodiac forecast for the month of June. Zodiac forecast for the month of June. Remember, the energy will impact you depending on where it falls in your natal chart. You have 4 zodiac signs, so take note of where that zodiac sign falls. And this is the area has the potential to impact. The year is your social circle, friends, and community. The month is career or parental relationships. The day is health and your romantic relationships. And the hour is thoughts, feelings, emotions, relationship with your children. And if you are a boss at work, your downline or your subordinates. So that's how it'll impact you. All right, the Grand Duke, starting with the Grand Duke for the month. Horse signs may see increased recognition and financial opportunity in June due to the Golden Lock and General Star, making it a strong month for career visibility and leadership. However, Sword Edge and Hidden Corpse suggest being mindful of communication, as misunderstandings or secrets being revealed could create conflict. Emotional reactions or impulsive choices may also lead to self sabotaging behavior. That's the double horse energy. So, thinking before you act can help you make the most of your month. Seasonal combination. These are the zodiac signs that make up the season of summer, create a fire energy. The snake, the horse, and the goat. Seasonal combination there. It supports inspiration, recognition, visibility, and the confidence to be seen. This makes it a strong time to share your ideas and step into the spotlight. If you notice, I only change these once a season. So, same. Okay. Just depends on your zodiac signs. Can use the energy to be seen on purpose, share your ideas, post consistently on social media, speak up where you've been holding back. Take one big step. You can pitch something, launch a small offer, or finally act in an idea you've been sitting on. Keep things moving by taking action instead of overthinking or waiting for perfect timing. Sometimes we just got to take the action, guys. All right. The 3 harmony is going to be the horse, tiger, and dog, creates a fire frame, increased visibility, recognition, and a creative drive. These signs may feel more motivated to take action, pursue new ideas, or step into leadership roles with more confidence. Momentum can build quickly, especially around projects, social connection, or areas you've been wanting to be seen and acknowledged. With the increased fire energy, be mindful of burnout, overcommitting, or pushing yourself too hard without rest. So, one of the tips here is make time to rest to avoid that burnout and emotional reactivity or impatience. Pace yourself and avoid saying yes to too many obligations. Turn excess energy into movement, creativity, or productive action. Do something. Share your ideas, promote your work or network. Networking is a good one during this time. Take advantage of increased motivation to move stalled projects forward. If you feel like you started working on something and you want to finish it, now is a really good month for you, especially tiger and dog, which combines with that double horse. Whole year is good for you. All right. Secret friend here is the goat combo of 6. Brings movement, combining with the horse, creating a fire energy. I've also heard this combination called the sun and the moon. It's said to bring helpful people when needed, but sometimes this means being dependable or helpful to others. So accept support instead of trying to handle everything alone. Remember to be helpful to others too. You can be the nobleman sometimes. Focus on collaboration, partnerships, and trusted connections. Be supportive without draining your own energy. Use the added fire energy to build momentum on personal goals. And if you have the rat, that's your clash sign. Clash is water, the horse is fire. A lot of clashing this whole year. You can use the feng shui by spending time in the southeast dragon sector of your home. Although the conflict star 3 is there for the month, it's a pretty good energy for the year. Spending time there can help you combine away a clash. Just don't activate the area with like fan, radio, stuff like that. Just spend time there. Should be enough to take the clash away. Use the clash for change also. Good month for ending habits. Actually, the whole year for you. Ending habits, traveling, bringing closure and endings. Not always bad because if things have been previously tough for you, they can really turn around and just change this year. That's all that clash means is a change. All right, let's look at the flying stars and the feng shui for June. All right, flying stars and feng shui for the month of June. So, how do you use flying stars? You don't need to use every sector each month. You just start by choosing one or two that support your current goals. Focus on the spaces you use most. So, front door, bedroom, desk, office, or kitchen. Then you can place a little cure for some of the negative stars, just key spaces like that I mentioned front door, bedroom, office, kitchen. If you happen to use them a lot. If not, you don't feel like placing a cure, you can just use them a little less, change areas. For a deeper layer, you can check your life gua number. The star combination that sector shows how the month can impact you. So, for example, if your life gua is number 2 and the 8 star goes there, expect more opportunity, income, or clients. Not just money flying to you, but it's going to come in the form of opportunity. So, what are the positive flying stars for the month, starting with the center? From my perspective, this is not a gua you can use. It just sets the tone for the month. Some people say you can use it. Hey, do whatever you feel like works for you. That's kind of what I'm all about. So, flying star 1 for the year, 4 for the month. This creates the energy for learning, communication, strategy, and growth. 4 star brings creativity, networking, writing, studying, and relationship building. Well, the star number 1 adds ambition and movement, adaptability, and the desire to move towards new opportunity together. They can make the month feel more active and social with new ideas. The caution is to not be scattered or restless if you take on too much. That's kind of a theme with me, apparently. Globally, it can just be a stronger collective focus and connections that seem unlikely, maybe a resolution to disagreements. What does that mean for us here in the US? Well, I mean, hell, I'm just here and I never really know. Can make certain predictions just based on its energy, but I don't really know. Flying star number 1, authority star, goes to the Southwest. 1 7 combination, 1 for the month, 7 for the year. The combination it can be used with some warnings. Remember, 7 star, usually gossip, legal trouble, stuff like that. That's there for the year. Gossip may travel around relationships, social circles, and the workplace. However, it can support networking, persuasion, and visibility. You can definitely use it to form partnerships and do that networking, making new connections, since it may also increase misunderstanding, gossips, or distractions. Think before you speak and which information you share. 2 may just feel a little more social this month. The caution is to place personal boundaries. When it comes to social settings, alcohol consumption, overindulgence that affect your energy and health. Usually the 1 7 star is wine and women. So maybe just a little bit more social this month. Practice moderation with the fun. Take care of yourself. Increased communication or social demands may just feel a little draining for the Guatu. You can spend intentional time here networking. I put a little phone icon there. You can use it for conversations, networking, establishing those new connections, take phone calls or meetings in the area. Keep the area organized and avoid excessive noise and clutter just because that 7 star, you don't necessarily want to be activated by that noise. Okay. All right. Flying star number 6. Some of these are challenging because good stars can mix with some of the challenging yearly stars for the month. In the West, it's the luck star 6, but it mixes with that 3 for the year. The energy can just be a little bit unpredictable. On one hand, the 6 star is usually a good sign, but combined with the 3 conflict star may be a little challenging. On the positive side, it can support leadership, discipline, and taking action. We can use the area for a purpose. However, the energy may bring some pressure around decision making, authority deadlines, especially where frustrations have already been building, increased irritability, stubbornness, or clashes of opinion, which is that 3 star. If you're a Gua 7, you're encouraged to speak up, take charge or handle ongoing responsibility more directly. It can support confidence and productivity, but there may be a tendency towards impatience, overreacting, or feel drained by conflict or just stress and pressure. So use the area here for focused work, planning, or tasks requiring discipline and structure. Keep the area quiet, organized, and free from excessive noise and movement, like I talked about a minute ago. And prioritize some grounding routines and pauses before reacting emotionally or verbally. Okay. Flying star number 9, spiritual and happiness star goes to the north, wall 1. It is a 9-4 combination. This is a really good sector for the month. And even for the year, you just can't activate it because of the 3 killings, okay? So combination 9-4, lucky her 2 combination, which is the early heaven combination. It supports learning, creativity, communication, visibility. Ideas may gain traction more easily, which can make it a favorable energy for writing, teaching, marketing, networking, and developing new skills. The Gua number 1 may gain some recognition through knowledge, creativity, or communication. It's a good time to share ideas, learn something new, or strengthen professional connections and responsibility. I put a little book icon there. You can work here. So you can use the area for writing, study, creative projects, and even networking. For that 9 star, you can add some lighting to support focus and visibility, but no need to activate with like noise, fans, stuff like that. Your breaker and 3 killings is there, which are usually only activated through digging and renovations. Keep the area a little bit quiet. Remember, flying stars are activated through movement, and the earth shaws, which are like those 3 killings and the Grand Duke and all that, activated through digging and renovations, but still don't want to overdo that area. All right, negative or neutral stars for the month. Flying star 2, 3, 5, 7 can bring challenges. Kind of depends on what they're doing and where they're at, how they combine together. That could be negative. Flying star 5. This one we dislike the most. Goes to the northwest to Gua 6. 5-2 combination in the northwest. This combination can bring frustration, delays, disagreements, small annoyances that it can escalate quickly. The 5-2 combination is quite negative. You should have a coin charm there for the year already anyway, salt cure, something like that. So you shouldn't really be able to, you shouldn't really have to be doing anything to it. Also, the metal of the Northwest, it can help to control that earth energy of the 5 and 2, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just trying to use the area less. If you're a Gua 6, you may experience some challenges of involving authority, decision making, conflict, just because where it falls. Staying flexible and avoiding unnecessary battles will help save energy and momentum. Be careful of your health. Be careful of your health this month. Keep the area quiet and uncluttered. Avoid major renovations. No need to cure, but you can place a salt cure there if needed. Remember, again, controlled by the metal sector. All right, flying star number 3 goes to the southeast. Gua 4. Energy is a 3-9 combination. Again, not necessarily bad, but the combination can bring passionate, fast moving energy that can bring growth, visibility, and action. It's an example of a 3 star showing a neutral or positive side. Emotions and opinions can run stronger than usual, making it a little easier to gain momentum, but easier to act impulsively or create unnecessary conflict. So use it when you feel like you need confidence or recognition, but don't overdo it. Here, the Gua 4, take initiative, speak up, and pursue opportunities confidently. Put enthusiasm to work and take steps towards goals that will bring better results than acting out of frustration. Sometimes you do things angry. Don't do that. Cure. You can use the area for creative work, planning, launching projects. Just keep it quiet and organized. Okay. Flying star 2, illness star goes to Gua 3, the east, 2-8 combination. It's an example of sometimes negative can show more neutral side. 2-8, they're both earth energies, usually means steady progress, practical decisions, strengthening existing foundations, and like consistent work. But sometimes that monthly star 2 can definitely be the need to pay attention to your health, energy levels, self-care. So Gua 3, you can slow down a little bit, just stay consistent, focus on long-term goals. Sometimes this can also indicate issues with finance or financial loss, so be aware of your outgoing expenses. Enhance your cure, you can keep the space quiet, calm, and organized. You can avoid unnecessary renovations, drilling, or major renovations in the sector this month. All right, flying star number 7, legal and dispute star, goes to the northeast, 7-4 combination. Creativity and social energy come together, but it can be helpful for networking, marketing, teaching, and sharing ideas. But there's also a tendency to gossip, distractions, and saying more than intended. Choose your words carefully, and that can help you make the most of your sector's opportunities. Yet, another example of positive stars and negative stars combining. While 8, you might feel more social, expressive, and open to learning, collaboration, and communication is more favored. Be careful about what you say. Cure, you don't really need to. Just keep the area calm and quiet. Use it for networking if you want. Flying star 8 goes to the south. Remember 8-5 combination. Careful about financial loss with the 5-star present for the year. It's wise to avoid unnecessary risks or major disruptions. Small issues can become larger if you're overlooked. Guan 9, focused on stability, follow through, and practical decision making. Careful about protecting financial information and try to cut back on unnecessary expenses for the month. You can just keep the area quiet. You don't really need to cure too much. You should have like a salt cure or something you prefer there for the 5-star for the year. Some people like the Wooloo gourd, 6 coin charms. Definitely avoid renovations, drilling, major activity in the sector for the month, because that's also the Grand Duke, which can be activated and is quite negative to activate for this year, which brings me to the no renovation sectors. Although flying stars can be positive, you need to avoid renovations with heavy digging to avoid activating earth shaws or necessarily won't impact you. Again, the South, 5 yellow for the year. The horse is there, the Grand Duke, avoid that. Where we have the Wuji Sha for the year, the Northwest, also the 5 yellow for the month. Definitely Northwest sector is one you want to avoid renovating and doing too much in for the month and really for the year. Don't be digging too much there. The month breaker and the year breaker is going to be that rat, that North 2 area, no renovations there. And also the annual Shaw. So disaster Shaw Northeast, avoid renovations. If you're on a ground level, this can definitely be impacted. If you're above, you just look at flying stars. So, say you're on floor number 2 of an apartment building, or you need to do some stuff to the second story of your home, should be quite fine as long as you follow flying stars. All right, well, I hope y'all enjoyed the energy update for the month of June, where we looked at the energy tones for the month, little weather folklore, zodiac forecast, and feng shui flying stars for June. All right. Well, next episode, I'm going to be talking about little Chinese medicine and the practice of something called moxibustion. What is that? What does it do? What is it used for? All your questions will be answered in that episode. That will be June 19th episode on moxibustion. Don't forget to visit learnfengshui.com. Follow the link in the show notes for that newsletter on the Substack.